Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
Hey, is this thing on? Hello, testing.
No debate, cause they saw. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant.
What's up, Twitter world? There's my little OJ.
He's got an autographed OJ photo.
Has anybody heard the story about the Glizzy guy?
He fits today's generation.
Oh yeah, speaking of lady basketball players, Lola Bunny, bonkable. Yes or no?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're live. My lighting seems really odd today. I don't know. Whatever. I'll figure it out. Welcome to the Korner Booth pregame. Happy Thursday to all of you. It's almost St. Patrick's Day weekend, which is insane to think about. Got a great show today. Little program note. Subbi will not be able to make it tonight. He unfortunately had a family thing he had to take care of, so I'm filling in for him today. He gave me notes. We're ready to talk some college ball. I'm excited. We also got our boy DJ Stewart coming back. We're going to talk about our takeaways from NFL free agency. Obviously, more moves were made today. A lot last night. We also have possible tampering charges with, I believe, the Commanders and one other team for Ronnie Stanley. So it's definitely going to be an interesting show to begin with. So that being said, here is my co-host, Mr. Matt Ordazzo. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. I switched up my little caption thing because TikTok is loving to hate on us after that Sam Darnold clip that we posted because everybody likes to just think what they think they hear and not listen to the actual video. Anyways.
Well, let's all review that because it's not TikTok itself. It's our viewers on TikTok, which we love. We love all the comments, even the hate y'all give us. We love it. But at the same time, some of y'all got some of the dumbest takes I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I try to be nice on there because, it's positive energy, trying to understand. Like, listen, we're sharing our content out there. We want feedback. But some of y'all dumb as a box of rocks, man. Holy crap. But, listen, I respect your hustles. I'm screwing up my lights, apparently. I look at a lot of these teams in the signings they make, and then I see their fans go on these biblical level rants. My favorite was that the Eagles failed free agency because they didn't sign anybody. I'm like, they signed a backup running back who they lost. They just signed a third corner because they lost some corner depth, obviously. They got a backup tight end or third string tight end. Who cares? It's guys, the draft. They still have the draft. Yeah, off season's not over. That's why I love when people overreact to the off season. That's my favorite thing. We don't know how Sam Darnold's going to end up in Seattle. They have no O-line. They have one solid weapon. And three solid weapons. You count the two running backs. My bad. But other than that.
I'm sorry, but I'm as a Jets fan, I have a soft spot for Sam. That was the one quarterback that we drafted in my lifetime. And I've seen Pennington drafted. I've seen Geno drafted. I've seen Sam, Zach, Petty, Hackenberg drafted, and many more. Sam is the one quarterback I really wanted it to work, and I hope he has an amazing career at the Seahawks. However, you can't tell me that this isn't New York Jets 2.0 with him going to Seattle right now. I mean, he went to the Seahawks and they immediately were like, all right, we're going to trade DK and we're going to get rid of Lockett. And now all they have is Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. They have Noah Fant, who is not a number one tight end. He's not a number two tight end.
I'd say number two. He's a good number two tight end.
He's an average tight end. He's not going to be anything insane. He also, I believe, had some injury issues in Denver. I don't know what he's been like with Seattle. I know Kenneth Walker is always hurt every year. And he has a weak offensive line. All of this screams New York Jets 2.0 for Sam. And that defense isn't – I have to look up their rankings, but I don't think they're impressive. I see this as a 6 to 8 win at best, 8-win season for them. I'd probably say maybe a little less, but I mean, we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, nobody's saying you should have just paid Geno Smith $10 million more per year. We're just saying that Sam Darnold's not the answer for the team that you just gave him. You just shaped him up to fail. I mean, I think we might see Carolina, New York Jets, Sam, with that offense.
I'm optimistic only because head coaching is different. Seattle has a history of winning, and they have such a good running game. And they have a draft still to improve. And free agency's not done. We're only 4 days in. Some of the best signings always happen after. So I'm going to try to be optimistic.
It's early. It's early. But to be fair, that winning history and that culture was really championed by Pete Carroll's tenure there.
And Mike Holmgren.
Yeah, and McDaniel is we have to McDonald. We have to see how he's going to be, but we'll see. It definitely looks like Seattle's going into a rebuilding year, which I feel bad for Sam because I would have loved to have seen him, even if he took less money, to go back to Minnesota on a shorter deal. Mm-hmm. It just sometimes I just think that he's been in 4 different systems. He finally found that one that works. I wouldn't have left. I would have stayed for a year or two if I could have. I know JJ McCarthy's their future there, but I would have gave it another run there because the 4th team and you finally had success and made it to the playoffs. I'm not leaving.
I ain't never leaving. It's so funny. They talked about it on McAfee today. It was Orslowski was on, and he was talking about Geno, and I'm like, yes, somebody agrees with me on my Geno take because, gentlemen, Geno Smith is a solid quarterback who is great even with bad O-lines. You give him a average to above average O-line in Oakland. They're not like anything special, but they're like probably 15th or 16th if we wanted the PFF rank them. You give them what looks, and they just got Raheem Mostert today, which, by the way, I love that move. You get him for a bargain bin price. Even if he plays 7 games, he's still a touchdown machine. He's explosive. Best tight end in football, arguably. Chip Kelly's offense, who can basically make Josh Huff look like a 1,000-yard receiver. I'm up for Geno, and the fact of the matter is they may go get a receiver in round 2 and a running back in round 1, or a receiver in round 3, quarterback to develop in round 2. I don't know. It's a very unique situation where the Raiders actually have promise, and it's not the usual Raider way of, we're just going to try to microwave this. No, this kind of reminds me of 2014 when they went and took Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. I believe that was the Adams draft. I cannot remember. But this looks like that 2015 team. Sorry, no, not right. Devontae Adams. Sorry, Amari Cooper. My brain had to restart itself. Amari Cooper, and then went and got Mike Crabtree. This reminds me of like the predecessors to that 2016 Raider team that was honestly an AFC favorite before Derek Carr's leg got snapped in half like a wonton. So this gives me optimism for the Raiders, even if it's just a predecessor. I guess it kind of strikes me as 2016 Raiders meets 2017 Chiefs, if that tracks.
Yeah, and going off of what you got just the piggy. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good. You're good. I was trying to get to long explanation or short drink of water. Dominant tight end, good running game, good offensive head coach, experienced journeyman starter, prodigy backup. I'm not saying he's giving me Mahomes, but it could be not terrible.
So what I was saying to piggyback off of what you were saying about Geno Smith being great, even with the bad offensive line. 2022, we had his career year. He had over 4,000 passing yards. He had 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. They made the playoffs that year. He had the 32nd ranked offensive line. So him playing behind the worst ranked, and this was by, I believe it was PFF. Him in 2022 had the worst offensive line, had a career year, went to the playoffs. Sam Darnold last year had according to PFF, they ranked the Minnesota Vikings offensive line 13th overall, but Sharp Football had them at 9. So he had a top 9, top 13 offensive line. He went 14-3, lost in the first round of the playoffs because he couldn't handle the blitz. You're going to give him the Seahawks' current offensive line, which I'm sure it's not the worst in the league, but I don't think it's top 15.
Bottom 10.
I would have to check. But,
Bottom 10, I think last time I looked.
I think it's obvious that Geno Smith can handle a worse offensive line better than probably Sam Darnold. But, we'll see. I'm not trying to hate on Sam. I'm not trying to have it come off, as that I can't stand the guy. I love the guy. I wish he came back to the Jets. I wish it worked, but I'm just looking at the facts. I just no, I've watched him play for 3 years. Maybe if we had a better offensive line, obviously it shows, but I don't know.
I love this time of year, post free agency, pre-draft, because this is where we overanalyze the shit out of it. And speaking of a smart human being and overanalyze things, our producer Nate's here. Hi, Nate.
Hi.
Nate, I don't mean to rain on your parade. I finally heard this announcer that you guys have play the play-by-play girl for the A's. Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. My journalism background crumbled a little bit. I was like, what?
Rooker sends a long one.
It's not even what she says. It's the emphasis and the weird, placements of, half-eaten sentences. It almost feels like she's wasted trying to do commentary. I mean, that'd be great if she was hammered. I would be like, hell yeah. You go get it, sweetheart. You do what you got to do. Listen, I'm not expecting them to be Vince Scully, okay? But I heard 3 guys in a row break down her commentary for Rooker home runs. I'm just like, oh, sweet woman, you gotta stop, man. The sentence is weird, and you stop and start thoughts.
Yeah, Sharp Football. The Seahawks last year had the 29th ranked.
I was right, line. Bottom 10.
So So Sam Darnold is getting a bottom 5 offensive line and no weapons besides JSN.
Yeah. I will say, keep the attention going though. Walker. Keep the attention going on that TikTok for real. That comment section was.
We love to hate people. Keep giving us hate.
We love that.
We're good. It annoys me when people are like, "How did you get to this conclusion?" It's a 30-second clip. We didn't say any of that.
I mean, they probably went back. Hey, listen, if they want to go back and watch the actual show on YouTube, we can do that too. Nate, what we should start doing? Let's leave a little info sheet after every clip. So they say, "Hey, follow us on this to watch the complete episode." Go to here.
Yeah, I think I did that the last one, but yeah, we'll start doing that for sure.
Let's make that consistent, because you know what's so funny? We have people watch the clips and then they just make an assumption watch the entire episode or watch that entire segment and see what happens. By the way, I gotta give you a shout out that you typed up the LinkedIn post for me, or it was you put in for whatever we used. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. It was great. I haven't checked LinkedIn because I don't I was away the last day and a half for a family birthday. My cousin, he's like, let's play. Kid never played golf a day in his life. Goes, let's go to Top Golf. Love Top Golf, by the way. Fun as hell. One thing I will say, the non-adjustable tee heights really annoyed the hell out of me. But other than that, it was fun. I skied about 15 golf balls in my 3-wood because when I use a 3-wood, technically I only have the tee about this high off the ground because the head's only that wide, but it's the width of a driver. Problem is, unless I kind of picked the club head up a little bit, I'd send it to the back fence every time. But the problem was, if I got under, I'd shoot it straight up in the hill. One time, I hit the ceiling, hit the floor, and buzzed by my face. And I'm just like, this is horrifying. But yeah, so appreciate all that stuff. I appreciate the help. Remember, boys and girls, Monday we do tight ends and left and tackles for our draft breakdown. So we get 2 for the price of 1. Also, we'll know who's in the tournament.
Or you do tight ends and just mix O-line and D-line together.
No, because I actually want to talk about D-line and edge rushers. Interior O-line, to me, honestly, it's so boring. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll take a look at the draftable O-line, because last year there was about 3 O-line worth breaking down. It was JPJ and one other guard, and that was it. Everything else was 5th round guys we had to dig into. We'll look around. We'll kind of make a judgment call on what we're going to do. And the following week, we'll kind of see how we want to attack it. But we'll definitely be doing tight ends because it's a very tight end heavy class. And maybe we'll mix in the tackles because I want to talk about Will Campbell. But we'll see how much because, listen, I'm leading Subbi Nose today, so this should be fun. I'm excited for that. Our boy DJ should be here in a little bit. And I reached out to a mystery guest and offered him a shot coming on the show. No idea if he's going to accept. It was kind of like a you up text. And if you understood who I sent this to, you'd find it even more hysterical. But I was just
Does that work? Does that work in real life? You up? Probably not, huh?
It worked once for me, and that was it. And I would live to regret it. Anyway. Okay, so moving on. We have a couple other signings. But Nate, I was hoping you could help us with this because I saw this headline while I was at Topgolf yesterday. I tried to dig into it, couldn't find anything. There was apparently some illegal tampering allegations for, I think, the Commanders and one other team looking into Ronnie Staley.
Chiefs, I think it was Commanders and Chiefs.
Chiefs, maybe? Chiefs, Commanders. Literally the two teams I hate the most.
Yes. So let's get a little bit more specific. So the Chiefs, Patriots, and or Commanders were possibly in violation. Let's see. I'm trying to find more on it. It was an interesting story, though, to say the least.
Also, very early. Usually, we hear about illegal tampering months after, not during the period.
Yeah. Hey, if it involves the Patriots, let's expedite this.
I mean, the guy they didn't even sign, though, Matt. It's like, why are you complaining?
No, I want them to lose a draft pick.
Oh, what? I mean, then again, it's not a Bill Belichick draft pick, so they're not going to waste it.
Yeah. So any conversations before noon Eastern on Monday is considered tampering, as we all know. Apparently, there's a report that the Patriots made a behind-the-scenes conceptual pitch to Stanley before he re-signed with the Ravens. And the Chiefs and the Commanders also made a run at him before the legal tampering window on Monday.
What about Patriots all of these crazy signings on like Sunday? How does that work?
Trades, I think, are allowed, and if they're already released, I don't know. There's like some loopholes, I believe. I would want to ask an
Devontae signed on Sunday.
Yeah, because Devontae Adams signed on Sunday.
DK was traded on Sunday.
DK, but like trades are different. Trades were different, but yeah, it's weird.
Landry went to the Patriots on Sunday, I think. Yeah, Harold Landry went on Sunday to the Patriots.
That's right. I don't know. We'll find out. So I want to ask like a legit NFL rules expert, like, hey, listen, like, how are they getting away with this when technically the legal tampering period doesn't start until Monday at X hour? So, but either way, that was an interesting story. My Eagles finally made a signing, guys. They made a couple. AJ Dillon.
Sorry.
So many quads in one backfield.
I was just going to have an answer to Matt's question, but I'll let you go first, boss. My apologies.
Okay, so I will make this quick then. Everyone knowing about my despair for how I was a little annoyed on Monday because obviously the Eagles were losing everybody, but they went and got Josh Uche, who, by the way, had 12 sacks this year. Completely slept on. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it could be a one-hit wonder.
Maybe younger Hassan Reddick, you guys.
Yeah. Or he could be another Breece Hall. I don't know. No, sorry. Who's the guy we got from you guys?
Bryce Huff.
Bryce Huff. Sorry, wrong Bryce with an H. Anyway, then we went and got a Dory Jackson, but I forgot it wasn't 2017. Then we went out and got a tight end. I think it was Harrison Bryant, backup tight end from the Browns. Just an interesting kind of combination of moves from Howie. I mean, listen, this is, to me, it was just like, all right, get some depth, draft picks where everything comes in. So that was it. Nate, you did have a point you wanted to bring up. What was it?
Yeah, so basically, teams are allowed to negotiate with their own free agents before the tampering window. So, like,
how the hell did Landry get? Because Landry was a player.
If a player is released, he's also free to meet with teams and sign a new contract prior to legal tampering period.
Okay, so there's loophole. So if they're cut before the beginning of the league year, they're allowed to negotiate before the league year starts. But if they are just a free agent, their contract's left to expire, then they have to wait until the beginning of the period. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Ahead of the Giants,
man, you're like
love you too, boss.
Man.
In advance of the Giants' visit with Russell Wilson tomorrow, they have just hosted Joe Flacco. Sorry, Nate.
Pray for our boy Chris. I really hope that doesn't happen.
I think the Giants are in a win-win scenario, no matter what they do. I think
they're going to get nothing but garbage cans for quarterbacks. They're going to be like a.
Well, no, they're going to either sign. I would assume that the Giants are either going to sign Rodgers or Russ Wilson. They're going to get a veteran. I feel like it's got to be one of those two. I'm thinking more Russ because it sounds like Aaron Rodgers, whenever he decides to make up his mind, is probably going to go to Pittsburgh. So, I mean, let's just say the Giants get Russ Wilson, and then they're going to draft a young kid at 3. So you either get the rookie and you start him day one, or you get the veteran and the rookie and you let him learn. Which I think if Shador were to learn under Russ Wilson, that would be pretty good because they're kind of very similar quarterbacks in their heydays. Like Russell Wilson is very much a mobile, scrambling quarterback that can run and also make plays. Has a big arm. I think he would mentor him well. But also, if you're getting picked 3rd overall, you should be able to get in there right away. So win-win for the Giants. But Joey Flacco, New York. He played there for 3 years with us.
Played in Philadelphia for all of
complete the trio, Nate. He just needs to play for your team.
I love Chris. I do, and I hope he's doing well. If he's watching this,
he's sick as a day. I was texting him before. He's unfortunately under the weather today.
Okay, I was gonna say because I know if he was here, he'd be like Joe Flacco, and if he signs with us, I don't know how I feel. I would hope we get Sanders if that's the case at 3. The reports, and it's not really a report that we aren't surprised about, but if Shadur's right there, we're not gonna pass on him apparently.
I forget Kirk Cousins is still there too.
Yeah, but I guess
he's under contract. I think he'll. Bear with me. I think it's gonna be at least 2 or 3 big draft day trades. I think one of them is going to be Philadelphia is going to move a lot. They're harboring so many picks. Howie Roseman is like, Matt, you said we're not going to talk about what we talked about off camera. We're going to save this until maybe we'll talk about it next week. There's a couple edge rushers who are on contracts that are about to expire soon. And Matt and I kind of off camera talked about, hey, listen, this is a total Howie move to just go chuck a Brinks truckload of draft picks. So we'll see how that goes. One of them plays actually in Pennsylvania. The other one plays in the great state of Texas. But there's obviously other ones available. I feel like we're going to also see the big one, though, is going to be Kirk Cousins. I think gets moved right. I think the Falcons move Cousins, and I think they move Kyle Pitts on draft day. Those are the 2 players I think they move off of. I think they want to get younger. I think they want to build around Penix, and they want to build around Bijan Robinson. They want to continue to add to that defense and maybe even rebolster the offensive line. And they can easily get a tight end in this draft. And moving a guy like Pitts, who I feel like is in the last year of his deal or the second last year of his deal, would be a no-brainer. So there was also reports, apparently there was it might have been completely falsified reports, or it could have been just fan pages. But they were talking about, Eagles looking at Kyle Pitts. And I'm like, I don't hate that. Because I feel like if he goes to Philadelphia, Big Dom could tell him, hey, you got to catch the ball, bro.
Yeah, I think I like Kyle Pitts. I think he's a quarterback that's just a product of the system. He hasn't really had a quarterback to throw him the ball. We all thought Kirk Cousins was going to be that guy, but I mean, when we obviously have seen when you were an older veteran quarterback coming off of a torn Achilles, sometimes you don't play like you used to.
Yeah.
But Kyle Pitts with Jalen Hurts would probably. I mean, I don't think probably. I would say he was going to have a career year.
My favorite is this narrative, apparently, that they're trading Goddard, but I haven't seen anything of the contrary. I mean, to kind of corroborate it. Also, it was an ESPN report, an Eagles insider, and I haven't seen anything else about it since. And I'm like, why would we trade one of our best offensive weapons unless we're gonna? I mean, I could see Philly taking a guy like Arroyo or Mason Taylor in the first or second round, in the second or third round in draft, and kind of letting Goddard's contract run and then just move the next guy up. That's kind of more what I could see happening, because Dallas obviously won a Super Bowl with us, been to a 2 with us, always kind of been part of this team. But I don't know, it's interesting. But we have 2 things. We're gonna get into Subbi Knows in 1 second, but first, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now. He is the host of the amazing show High Low Sports. He is a diehard Colts fan. Our condolences. DJ versus AR. I cannot wait for this QB comp. And of course, We got to ask him about his new role as working in waste management, I guess is what Hunter Renfro's doing now. Ladies and gentlemen,
mob.
DJ Stewart.
DJ, you're in the mob. I can't believe it.
Well, now I got to leave. You can't be telling people that. So I
Nobody
guess this is
really-
fun,
no.
guys.
Nobody actually.
He's a
works
made
waste
man. He's a
management.
paisan, apparently. Honorary paisan.
If you work in waste management, you don't really work in waste management.
What's
It's
up,
not
buddy?
the kind of waste you think of. It's wasting away those who need to get got.
What's up, DJ?
Howdy ho, Nate. How goes it? You seem awfully jubial.
Yeah, because you got my QB. Hey, treat him well over there, why don't you?
I got there's no quarterback here. Like there's
Indiana Jones.
Hey, he looks
I-
so good.
I love
You see
that
his
Indiana
beautiful
Jones.
smile, man. He's smiling all
Oh,
giddy and stuff. He's so ready to go.
The only person who is more upset about the QB situation of the Colts besides DJ is Pat McAfee, and it cracks me up. Because
I think it's great that as soon as they announced that signing, Anthony Richardson pretty much was like, "Yeah, I don't need to seek a trade anymore. I'm good. I'm going to stay." I'm like, "Oh, if this man's like, this is my competition. I'm good."
I'm gonna change all of my stuff. Like I'm just gonna slap the NFL logo on. I'm gonna be like Rob Lowe with everything, just wearing Go NFL, Go Sports for literally everything.
what was that old Philip DeFranco shirt, Go Sports Ball, whatever, be that guy. The guy who everyone wants to throw out of a freaking Super Bowl party.
Exactly.
DJ
My dream
DJ's gonna
case
have-
scenario was the Colts would bring in Justin Fields, but unfortunately, Matt's Jets would not allow that to happen because I looked at it with Justin Fields. All right, worst case scenario, AR's terrible, and Justin Fields is Jalen Hurts-esque with Shane Steichen, but I can't compete with $40 million in a starting job, so that left. Not a
Hey,
lot
I
to
mean,
work.
I'm not mad about it. I'm just not one of those Jets fans that are just thinking that, this is the answer to our future problems at that position. I'm like, this is just a temporary, like, we'll see if we have lightning in a bottle. That's about it.
I think if they get the offensive coordinator right to his skill set, I think that could be your long-term answer, but they can't screw that up. Like if it's the right spot, he'll be good, but if it's like he was with the Bears, it's going to be a repeat. Like,
Yeah.
Jets are
better
drafting
than
an edge
Daniel
rusher.
Jones.
Jets drafting an edge rusher to answer that guy's question.
I don't think. I mean,
They need help. They need help. Like, listen, Hassan Reddick didn't work, and they need a guy to help Will McDonald.
Unless they were to trade Breece Hall before the draft, I don't see that happening. I think, like you said,
He's too cheap.
it's edge rush. At
Maybe
this
Tyler
very
Warren.
moment, it's either going to be offensive line or defensive line. It's going to be no anything else.
Remember, kids, you
Maybe.
win Super Bowls in the trenches.
Maybe Tyler Warren if they want to get freaky.
Ooh,
They do need some
Yeah,
tight end help.
Listen,
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
okay with a tight end going top 10 that's not named Kyle Pitts.
I say he could block. He can help with the run game. He can, if Justin Fields gets banged up, he could take snaps and you can run. You never know. If they want to get freaky,
His pro comp was a more agile, like Kittle. I was like, that's high praise.
he don't block like that now. Like he can block, but he don't block like that.
Oh no! Like, listen, George Kittle's a wrestler playing football. Like that's what it is. He's a
He's gonna be in
WWE
WWE.
villain.
That means a
All
white
right.
John Jones. Like he does not need that.
I love that. He runs fast. Have you ever seen John Jones try to run? Oh my god!
Have you seen him try and dunk a basketball at 6'4" and 85-inch wingspan? He can't. He got stuffed by the rim. Or 85-inch wingspan.
I do not think they're. Ooh, maybe. I think they're trading back. I think they're going to trade back and try to get a guy like Tate McMillan out of Arizona because they need a receiver. So he's kind of on point there. But we don't know what
whatever they do. I hope whoever they draft just doesn't pan out. That's my motto.
Come on, man.
That's just so bitter. He's like, I had to do it 20. Nate, you have to understand. He's what you guys are dealing with now for the last couple of years of the Eagles and the Cowboys just kind of dominated the division, and you guys being at the bottom. Imagine that for 20-something years.
6 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowl wins. We're
Yes.
talking like 9 appearances.
This year, but 6
10
more
appearances.
times, Nate.
Dang.
Yeah. All right.
That's insane. Yeah.
I want to get back to football, but we have a promise to our sponsors and our friends. I have to lead the charge, apparently. Hashtag Subbi knows, presented by Righteous Felon. So I'm not Subbi. I'm not as handsome. I think I'm a little taller, but he has a better hairline. So that being said, and he's also a lot slimmer. Subbi gave me some notes to ring off for you, handsome gentlemen. He says, "Hello, boys. How is everyone doing?" He said a couple things to focus on. One, the losses of Xavier and Ohio State in the last 2 nights have given my North Carolina Tar Heels a much better shot at making the tournament. So March Madness Jared has a shot. It's a horrifying spectacle of me yelling at the TV, screaming, and praying to all things holy that North Carolina doesn't lose. But Cooper Flag did go down with a sprained ankle in the first half against Georgia Tech today. X-rays came back negative, but John Shire basically said, and I believe this is the exact quote, said it would have to take everyone in the locker room to convince me that he could go for the next game. I believe the next game is North Carolina, so unless I believe Stanford wins tonight against Louisville. Anyway, so that's that. BYU looks incredible. They're shooting the three like a pro team, and they are a threat in the Big 12 tournament. Really interesting now because the Big 12 is kind of in a weird state. Now, obviously, with Oklahoma and Texas being gone, it's kind of in Kansas kind of in a down year. So as of right now, the Big 12 tournament stands as follows. We have Baylor and Texas Tech right now. Baylor is getting the crap kicked out of them. Houston took out Colorado. BYU knocks off Iowa State, hence his headline about shooting the three ball. I mean, listen, they put up 96 points. They can score. Arizona and Kansas, rematch of a game about a month ago, is tonight at 9:30. That game should be fun. I'm actually very excited for that one. Tomorrow, we're going to get BYU versus Houston, and then we're going to get the winner of Texas Tech versus the winner of Kansas, Arizona. So BYU possibly is a threat to Houston. I like it. I think Houston's kind of a weird, soft team. Remember, Maddie, in our first edition of Subbi Knows, we talked about how Houston was kind of a weird, vulnerable team. We thought maybe it could be that once he gets knocked off early. That they're kind of my vote for it. They're kind of my Virginia this year. Other conferences, obviously, we talked about the ACC already. All their top seeds advanced except for Wake Forest, losing 68-59 in North Carolina. Interesting. I saw a tripping flagrant one today. That was something I haven't seen in a while in college basketball. Currently, Louisville and Stanford, very close game right now, 19-17 in the first half. Almost halftime, very low-scoring game. Duke knocked off Georgia Tech even without Cooper Flag. And then tonight we have SMU Clemson. Winner plays, I believe, the winner of Louisville-Stanford, as long as it goes the way it's going now. Other conference news, because remember, this is big. This is the most important tournament of the tournament week. Texas knocked off A&M 94-89. It's double overtime. Ole Miss knocks off Arkansas. Missouri and Mississippi State are playing tonight at 7:48 Eastern in about 15 minutes. And Oklahoma plays Kentucky. So tomorrow we have Auburn versus Ole Miss, Tennessee versus Texas. I believe the winners of the two games will determine who plays Florida, who plays Alabama. So that's where we stand there. Wow. I honestly kind of like conference tournament week more than I like the actual tournament because it's intense. Like I watched North Carolina Wake Forest today, and I have not watched a Wake Forest college basketball game since probably Chris Paul was there. And dude, they were playing. It was tight. I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, because both teams are basically the same. They're both bubble teams who needed like some help. And now that Ohio State and Xavier have lost, they look even better. So it's kind of a weird scenario now with North Carolina now winning. Their only loss in the last 9 games is Duke itself, and that game was close up until the last 5 minutes. So obviously, as a fan, I think they're deserving. But even without fan bias, I'm kind of excited for this one, gentlemen. I don't know how much college basketball you watched this week. I'm not Subbi, so my knowledge is limited, but we can do our best. Thoughts on this week in college basketball? Deej, I know you're more of a football guy, but I'm curious your thoughts as I've never really talked college ball with you before. I'm interested.
I'm really curious with how the Big 12 is going to play out. Obviously, I'm really curious to see how the Big 12 plays out. Iowa State going down to BYU was kind of surprising to me. I know BYU is pretty decent, but I thought Iowa State had a real shot at maybe making some noise in that conference tournament. Texas Tech taking on Baylor right now, relatively close, but Texas Tech looks like they're going to pull away. So I'm curious how the Big 12 is going to play out and how that's going to affect seeding. We already know most likely, unless Auburn wets the bed, they're going to be a 1 seed. They would have to basically flounder badly and get some help. I wonder what Alabama can do. Let's say they win the SEC. Could they potentially put themselves in a 1 seed spot? Because they got some very good wins there as well.
Yeah.
Houston, I agree with you. Houston's my least scary 1 seed, but at the same time, they're not a ticking time bomb. They're either going to just barely survive the entire way through, or they're going to get cooked early. I don't think we're taking teams to cover the spread against them. That's what I'm feeling with Houston for sure, especially early on when it's going to be like minus 27.5 or something ridiculous. I think there's going to be a lot of those where they won't cover. And then, of course, the ACC, it really comes down to when Cooper Flag comes back. Because he was 5 feet in the air when he rolled down on that ankle. Like, that was taller than, well, okay, nobody in this chat. I was hoping we had a Hobbit or something I could make a joke with, but we got nothing. But he went down way too damn far to roll that ankle. If he can get back, they should be a clear, not favorite, but like someone to get to the Elite Eight, etc. But if he's not healthy and he can't move and this is a lingering thing, they might be in trouble because it's a well-oiled machine, but he makes it go round. Like, he's what makes them a championship contender.
This isn't even like for me, like not wanting to play against Flag again because he was annoying the hell out of me in the last game. I genuinely, for the kid's safety, think you should not even play this tournament. Like, Duke has nothing to. If Duke loses to like tomorrow to North Carolina or loses in the championship to Clemson or SMU or whoever or Louisville, they don't really gain or lose. I mean, yes, they might be they might be a lower number 1 seed, but
I'm not playing until the actual tournament. I'm
not playing. Yeah, I'm not touching. Like, what's the actual point? Like, oh my God, like they still might beat North Carolina without him. Like they basically came back with him in foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bear in mind, North Carolina went colder than a freezer in the middle of Antarctica, but still, I don't like. I like John Shire's approach to this. Just keep the kid off the court. He's way too valuable, and if you want to make a run, and like, listen, this is your one and done rental unless he decides to pull Harrison Barnes and like, yeah, I don't like any of these teams are going to draft me. I'll go back, which is genuinely possible. But yeah, I'm completely with you. I'm just send him to the tournament.
I might even consider sitting him in round 1 too. Like, I might say, like, you know what, round of 64, you're not playing. If we can't beat this 16 or 15 seed without you, we don't deserve to be here anyway. Then maybe the next round we start getting him in. Like, I'm being extra cautious.
I would be like, unless I would dress him, but I would not have him play. I'd have him sit on the end of the bench, unless like the game got in. Yeah, let him warm up. If the game started getting close, like if it's like a Mercer situation, yeah, get in the game, bail us out, but like. Kind of like use it only if you have to kind of situation.
Break glass in case of emergency.
Unless you're Amari Stoudemire.
Don't touch if you're Amari Stoudemire or Plaxico.
Maddie, what stood out to you so far in my rants about all the divisions? Buddy, you're muted.
Damn, I always forget. All right. Anyways, I got 3 schools that I'm kind of looking at. Obviously, one is UConn. I know that's it's not looking as hopeful as it was the last couple of years, but they got their back-to-backs. So even if they don't wind up making it a three-peat this year, they still got 2 in the last 2 years. So I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be a snobby UConn guy.
They play at 9:30 against Villanova, by the way.
W. Anyways, I'm also looking at Duke. I mean, like we were saying, I believe Cooper Flag's on Duke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they may be without Cooper Flag for a little bit. Just want to see how that school is going to wind up doing, losing one of their best players. But a third school that I'm looking at that I'm actually really excited about. I was hoping to find some odds as to March Madness winners, but I'm not finding any futures right now. But the Pitino-led St. John's 28-4 St. John basketball team is having an amazing season. And I know I hear a lot of people on the radio that are big St. John's fans. They're all hyping up this team right now. They just destroyed the 14-19 Butler, 78-57. But I am watching St. John's. I'm excited for that team. It is one of those underdog teams that caught lightning this year, and we'll see how far they can go. But I'm still holding out hope for the Toothpaste Bowl.
He said last time I talked to Subbi, he said not looking good for Oral Roberts. Might be out.
Yeah, 1 year. 1 year we'll get Oral Roberts and Colgate.
I already saw High Point took the Big South, Montana took the Big Sky, and Lipscomb took the I believe it was the American East. Yes. No, sorry, that's Maine and versus Bryant. They're playing tomorrow.
We got. I don't know if it's tomorrow or Saturday. We got the Ivy League Bowl with Harvard and Princeton. Last year, my bold prediction was I think it was Harvard over Auburn, and it destroyed Kelsey's hopes and dreams by accident. I didn't think Harvard would win. Was it Yale?
It's been a clone since then. Like, you did destroy actual Kelsey. That's been a clone. That's not. He hasn't been around since.
I think it was Yale, not Harvard. But
yeah, it was Yale. It was Yale. Because I remember I thought you were full of crap, so I picked Auburn, and it destroyed a parlay and half my bracket.
Destroyed my co-host. All right.
Has he
I mean,
picked
he
the
was
football
already a
team?
little dead inside anyway, so did it really hurt that much?
I mean, it was faster, but it still hurt.
Has he picked the football team or not yet?
We're still on the road. We're still on the road. We're about 11 teams in, give or take.
Love it. Has he already done the Philadelphia Eagles on this road trip?
We
yet?
did. We had our only live one so far was the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Okay.
Has he
don't worry,
ruled out?
We're going to make rounds. If you want to pitch the Eagles, there will be time.
Has he ruled out?
No, we should have Chris. We should have Chris come back on and pitch the Eagles.
Just have you both do. You guys can do an acapella.
Are the Jets somehow, for some reason, still in play?
I think everybody is still in play right now. I don't think anybody's
Wow.
fully eliminated because every time he
the
starts
Dallas
to think the
Cowboys.
Cowboys do something dumb, except the Giants. They might be gone. That one was a tough sell. You just got rid of Saquon Barkley, and that's like one of the few players he actually likes.
Your GM has the football IQ of a 2x4. Nate, you're muted. You pulled a Matt. You're muted.
Yeah.
But we have Tyrone Tracy.
Oh, you mean a guy who would be a backup running back on 80% of NFL rosters?
Out of all the people on your
for us
team,
last year.
So it
Of all
would
the
have been
guys on
Zach
your team.
Charbonnet, Kenneth Gainwell, Najee Harris.
I know there's not many.
This
There's like
guy,
three. There's like three, but out of all the guys you got on your team, you choose Tyrone Tracy as your big selling point.
Heck
you
yeah!
You could have
Matt
said
Lawrence.
Malik Neighbors.
Hey,
Zach
Chauncey Goldston,
Jackson.
the former Cowboy, he's over here now.
I think he's trying to avoid Cowboys. I don't think that's going to help him
You're
out. I
going to
think
give
he-
us all a migraine, Nate. Stop.
Next time, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Malik Neighbors. Those are your selling points.
Yes.
And Tommy DeVito.
All right, you know what? We've had enough of that. Time to get out of here. You have better luck pitching your A's to a Giants fan than.
Ooh,
the
I
Giants
can't wait to
with
do
them.
that one day.
Well, that's not going to happen. He's not leaving the Giants. They gave him happiness at some point.
Tell him he can be an A's fan without ever having to listen to the announcer.
Rooker sends a long one. Deep to left.
now I
I was
hate
just
the
the ice.
That woman should not be allowed to do broadcasting, or if she's going to, can she at least just say she's wasted on air? Make it so much easier.
I'll give her this year, and if there's no progression, they got to figure something out.
She's got to do a Bob Uecker, rest in peace. Here's the bitch.
It has nothing to do, and I don't want anybody to jump down our throats. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. I love Susan Waldman. She's been announcing the Yankees for 20 years. She's amazing. Nothing to do with her being a woman. She's just not good. It's just plain and simple. Like, what was it? Hey, Jose Siri, it's not your night. Oh, and Jose Siri gets payback on that pitch. Like, man.
They actually, I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but so she was going to be the lead announcer for the games last year. But they brought in this other guy. He's like a young kid. Chris Correa is his name. That dude knows how to announce games for the A's. They only put him like part-time. It was mostly just her. No, I think I got bad. I have a theory. I think I got bad enough to the point where they had her just call away games for like a good amount of the season and had him just call the home games. Because like she rarely called home games after like April and May.
Also,
I'm sorry, you go.
we have to get back to college basketball. I want to finish this up so we can get back talking football and baseball. Quick other notes. Gonzaga is in a conundrum. Metrics say they are a top 10 team, but they're probably going to end up being a 6 or 7 seed. But they're going to kill somebody's bracket. That is what he sees. He put warning in big letters in this text message to me. He goes, when you're filling, he'll be back next week, but by then our brackets will already be filled out. So he said, listen, this will be dangerous. Don't do anything stupid. And last point he made, Indiana also lost. Now, so basically David's wondering, Ohio State, Indiana, Xavier, and North Carolina are like the 4 teams that are all fighting for the same 2 bubble spots. It's going to get crazy. So.
I agree with them 100% on Gonzaga because even though they're not the perennial number 1 seed that they have been in previous years, they are honestly more dangerous when they're not a number 1 seed. Like
they're a Sweet 16 team every year.
Every year, like they're just menaces to society. That's the only way I could think of it, honestly. Like they're just as soon as you underestimate them, they cook, and as soon as you bet the house on them, they let you down. So
they literally have this guy coaching for them the entire first half of the season. And then the second March Madness comes, Mark Feud is like the Undertaker. Snap his fingers here, a gong pops up. It's March, baby. Like
I think
I
my
swear-
entire college career was my brackets all were Gonzaga were going to win, and I think I was very
senior year, you almost got it when they played North Carolina in the title.
yeah.
And
Or when
my
they played Baylor in the title and got absolutely obliterated.
Ooh, yeah.
back-to-back years they went to the title game, which is crazy.
My
No,
last
no. 18 was Villanova.
my last perfect bracket that I won was 5th grade, and I won a chocolate bar.
Hell yeah. If only
Last
you knew it was
bracket
all
was
downhill for the rest of your life from there.
8th grade, I won as well in 8th grade, and I won a $25 Dick's gift card because we all of us were like all like 13-year-olds. We all put in like $1. There were like 25 kids it was like 28 kids in the thing. So we all put $1, and the winner got a gift card. It was pretty cool.
That's actually pretty dope. I mean, I would have taken a Dick's gift.
I can't remember it was a gift card or either way we got the money. I can't remember. I got something. It was pretty cool though. I won the bracket challenge, or I came in second. I can't remember honestly. 8th grade is kind of a blur. We're talking 08 at this point. Like Tyler Hansborough and Wayne Ellington were on that team.
Ty Lawson, all 5 foot.
That's right, Speedy Boy Lawson. And Danny Green. That's what I couldn't remember. But yeah, no, that was a fun time. All right, that was Subbi Knows, presented by our friends over at Righteous Felon. Promo code. They'll have 15% off the best meat snacks on the market. Subbi will be back next week. He promised, and if he doesn't, I'm going to drag him out of his house in Mass and make him come do the show live. But other than that, boys, now it's open season. We can talk football, baseball, whatever y'all want. DJ, if you want to bitch about your Colts for 20 minutes, that's fine. I'm open to suggestions here because once we got out of Subbi, I knew this was going to be kind of just a fun kind of bullshit session because this has been a weird week for free agency. The only move that my team made that actually hurt my feelings was CJGJ, and it took me a week to understand. No, it took me 48 hours to understand. Okay, the guy is the reason he's played in 5. I think it was Ross Tucker. Shout out said he's played on 5 teams in 5 years. There's something there. Is the reason how he moved. They got the title and they moved on. I don't know your thoughts on this. As you say, I'm CJGJ's PR publicist, so
you're his greatest PR ally and also his biggest hater at the same time. It just depends if he's CJ or if he's GJ. Depends which.
Oh no, he's going to have an all-pro season for the Texans. With that defense, he's going to have an all-pro season. The problem is
they'll be on the field a lot, so you'll get plenty of opportunities because CJ's going to be getting hit every other play. CJ's trash.
Their O-line, I don't. They lost their guard and their tackle. I don't get the Laramie Tunsil trade. I really don't. Unless they're going to move up and go get a tackle in the draft. But like even
who in this draft is a tackle you really trade up for either too. Like they're good.
I mean, they could get their what are they late teens?
They're 20s because they won the division. So and they
and they also won a playoff game. So I mean, who's going to be there? Like maybe Campbell falls that far because the short arms thing, but.
And even then, like there's no one you even trade up for. Like there's no Joe Alt or Sean Slater, Penei Sewell. There's nothing where it's like, okay, we can go get this guy. We will mortgage a little bit. Like you trade up, like you said, you're getting Campbell who might slip.
Do you think like maybe like they're kind of like doing what Philly's doing, like waiting for a draft day trade possibly because like there's no other option to me here.
Maybe like I really or they really think they can scheme around it. Like maybe we have the guys, or maybe there's a culture issue we don't know about. Like I don't really know.
Or maybe they have a tackle waiting in the wings who honestly might be because Tunsil was decent last year, but he wasn't like Mailata or
self. Like he'd come back down to earth a little bit. But
yeah, he hit his peak and now he's sliding back down to like okay, like. He's not like prime Tyrone Smith or Jason Peters. Kind of, you're like, okay, I know exactly what I'm getting every week with this guy. So, I don't know. The Texans a weird scenario to me. Their whole, like they loaded their defense up. Like they're gonna probably shut a couple teams out this year. But at the same time, I'm like, are you gonna run the ball more because CJ might die?
And how are you gonna run the ball when you have no one to block either? I mean, it's like you're asking Joe Mixon to break a few tackles, like.
I mean, listen, they're
and on top of it, it's like they blamed Bobby Slowick. Like getting rid of him, it's like they almost blamed him. Like you're the reason our offensive line struggled.
Okay,
it was schematic.
So I have a theory about Bobby Slowick. The Texans' offense lacked an identity last year. I think that was their biggest problem, where they had the talent to do things, but it almost kind of DJ gave me the Brian Johnson vibes. Like it looked like they were trying to do 3,000 things at once, or it was a drunk kid playing Madden in his room, like with the play calling. I couldn't understand what they were doing. I watched 5 Texans games this year live, like just like watch the whole time. Like They should have put away Detroit in that overtime game. I won money on that, so I didn't really complain about it. But they should have put away Detroit multiple times in that 5 interception game with Jared Goff, and they could not move the ball. And the play calling was abysmal. And I'm sitting there watching this game. I'm like, shit, I'm 8 beers deep. Give me the headset. Let's go. All right.
I do think part of it too is I think they saw what CJ Stroud did as a rookie and it was like, oh my, he's amazing. They almost expect him to be super. They didn't give him any leeway to take that sophomore slump step back. They didn't do anything to help him. So when they did that, the play calling was matching him taking that next step. But when he was having those moments, they didn't revert back to running the ball, the play action off of that outside zone stuff, the Slowick Shanahan tree stuff that makes things so quarterback friendly. They didn't do him favors. The offensive line, well, we know darn well how bad that was. And then on top of it, CJ wasn't. They had film on him. Like defense had a full offseason to see him while he was doing his podcast tour. So at the same, like they were ready to game plan for him. I think he's gonna be much better this year, but if he's not assaulted. So I think it was just a perfect blend of everything going weird, but at the same time, you're in the worst division ever with terrible teams, so you're going to win the division anyway.
Barring an AR resurgency.
Or a Daniel Jones resurgency at this point. He might get 19 touchdowns now, a new career high.
Yeah!
Get out of here, Nate. This is all your fault.
I know, but it's okay.
I'm blaming you by association.
Okay, listen. If he is the starter, I will get a Colts jersey of him. I will.
That makes one of us.
Come on, you should get one too. Well, match.
No, honestly, at that point, I think DJ and Kelsey might become like team free agents. I don't know.
I'm team sports now. I'm whoever my fantasy team quarterback is. That's who we're pulling for. We'll see how the draft falls. And I swear, if I end up with Daniel Jones, I might eat myself out the window.
I would trade for Daniel Jones.
You go right ahead. It's all yours.
And
oh my lord!
All right, with my luck, I'll have Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones will steal all the touchdowns. Then I'll really hate myself.
I will say this though. About the AFC South, because I think the Texans have a luxury that their window to win the division consistently, they have about one more year left. That was my thing. If they have one more year left, if the Titans do the smartest thing possible, they went and got their tackles, they got a guard, like their offensive line honestly looks really good now after free agency, and they have decent weapons around them. Draft Cam Ward at 1.
Don't overthink it. It's
Don't
right there.
Overthink it. This is Abdul Carter crap. It's not going to help you when Will. Okay, great. Abdul Carter's going to get 3 sacks next game. Oh no, I'm sorry. Will Levis turned the ball over 4 times. You're down by 28. Who cares? Also, you know how you negate a good pass rusher? The Eagles do against the Rams every time that Aaron Donald played. You run the football. You can't take a quarterback out of the game besides playing keep away, but you can take an edge rusher out of the game by running the ball. It's the unfortunate side effect of it. The Browns taking Abdul Carter to match him with Myles Garrett, nightmare fuel, but amazingly smart, right? The Titans don't overthink this. Cam Ward's the best QB prospect to come out probably since the 2020 draft. I think he's a better QB prospect than Trevor Lawrence. I was saying it for 2021 draft the whole time. You can go back. Me and our boy Kevin banging our chest. We knew Zach Wilson was going to be a bust. We knew that I said Mac Jones had a low ceiling, and he was on Mac Jones like crazy. And then I said, and I quote, Trevor Lawrence has not progressed at all since his freshman year of college. And he still really hasn't progressed much since his freshman year of college. Don't give me the head coach excuses. Doug Peterson made Carson Wentz look like an MVP quarterback. So I don't want to hear it.
Kelsey and I talked about on one of the shows when we looked at Trevor Lawrence, like, all right, I get all the hype. He deserves to be this highly rated, but my biggest fear is he's Ben Simmons, where he came out and he's already there and nothing's going to improve it. And that's kind of what ended up, without the head caseness, that he hasn't deteriorated at least yet. He's just stuck.
Like the Kardashian-esque head case stuff. No, but I think Cam Ward's the best QB prospect to come out since like Herbert, Hurts, and Burrow. I think it's like no question.
I think he's in the mix with like those guys we saw last year because I still think as prospects they were up there. But I do think Cam Ward is a lot better than people give him credit for. That's for sure.
Excluding obviously the 2 outliers with Daniels and Stroud. That was what I was going to finish that sentence because I think Daniels and Stroud are in their own stratosphere because they had such great rookie years. But like Hurts, obviously top 5 quarterback. Burrow, top 5 quarterback. Herbert, top 5 talent, top 15 quarterback.
Probably around that 10 spot, like 10 to 10-ish.
Yeah, that's we have this one friend who is a Justin Herbert stan, Like if he got traded to the Cowboys tomorrow, this guy might have a stroke. He would just lose his mind. He's a Cowboys fan, and his hatred of Dak Prescott is well documented. So, no, I'm sorry, no. If he got Bijan Robinson and he's a fanboy for freakish talent. Like he might be Al Davis incarnate because if he's got freakish speed and size, I need him on my roster. I tried to explain to him multiple times that Justin Herbert is not a top 5 quarterback, and he doesn't want to hear it. And I'm like, I was a Herbert defender for years, and then I watched that Texans game, and I just gave up on him. I'm like, I'm abandoning this take. I am done.
So you're blaming him specifically,
dude?
Not for the loss, but that he's too much of a robot. Like he doesn't have that extra thing to make him top 5. Pure skill wise, he's a top 10 just from his free.
What puts you in the top 5 quarterback to me is not just talent, it's not just leadership, it's not just the ability. It's the fact that if the game is on the line, you can go make the play.
And you don't have to do it every single time. You got to do it sometime. You got to do it sometime, and he hasn't really shown the ability to do that in these high leverage moments yet. Or if they lose, but he makes the play, it's one thing. Problem is he just turns into a robot and he can't get off schedule. It's very weird.
Which is why the Najee Harris signing to me is one of my favorites of the offseason because he is going to abuse defenders. Behind that line, dude, Najee Harris gonna run for 1,200 yards this year, easy. Like he's want the easiest bet in the world. Najee Harris 1,200 yards, easy.
I think he's gonna receive for like 400 easily too, because I think Justin Herbert likes to check down. He goes through the reads quickly, then immediately gets to the back, and Najee Harris is so good at that.
Also, do not be surprised if the Chargers go get a running back early, like round 2 or 3, and pair him with Harris. Like they're gonna continue to beat that horse to death.
If Travion Henderson in round 2, that could be something.
Or even Junkins with him with the power. Oh God.
Speaking of the Chargers, the Jets have signed one of their tight ends, Stone Cole Smart. Yes, that's his real name.
Oh, I was like Steve Austin.
It is nothing more than a decent receiving tight end that can block. It's nothing more than a depth signing. He's probably a tight end too, but I just love the name. Stone Cold.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a great name. We got a Dory Jackson today, and I started laughing. I said, is this 2020 again?
God, if this was Madden, that'd be a
wait, he left?
Yeah, he's on the Eagles now.
Oh, man, I liked him.
Oh, Nate, it's okay. You can go have James Bradbury back.
Yeah.
Dude, he was hecka good for us.
He was good. He was good for us for a year, too. And then, like, that holding call on Juju broke his brain.
Yeah,
you know what's funny is though the Chargers signed Mike Williams again. They brought him back. When they made the graphic for it, they showed a picture of Mike Williams in a Steelers uniform. It's like, you really couldn't pick a better graphic for this? You had 6 years of his career in your jersey, and you picked the one he was in the Steelers.
I think he had like 8 with them or something like that.
I know.
Yeah, you could just.
I saw that. I was actually very happy he's going back to LA. Like Mike Williams to me has had a decent career. I kind of wanted us to pick him up as our 3, but there's also a rumor. Okay, so the 2 teams that apparently are in, according to Tyler Cohen, so take it with a grain of salt. But he said Patriots and the Chargers are the 2 leaders in the clubhouse to get Cooper Kupp. I want to toss the Eagles hat in the ring to be our slot receiver because every time the Eagles have a white receiver, he dominates. Shout out Kevin Curtis.
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going with that for a second. I was like, sir?
I would love
I also will say Riley Cooper had a pretty good season too.
All he needed to do was get in some trouble and had the best season of his career and got
just don't put Riley Cooper in concerts without.
No, yeah, Coop. Hey, when Zach Bryan comes back to Philly, we'll keep you backstage. Okay?
I would love to see Cooper Kupp in a Jets uniform, but it just screams recipe for disaster because 1, the man is injury prone. 2, you're going to give him MetLife turf. No, it's not going to work.
Philly, best training staff in football. 21 to 22 starters played in the Super Bowl.
Is Mekhi Becton still a free agent, or did he go somewhere?
He's still a free agent.
The problem is his agent asked him for too much money, and the Eagles are like, "We're not paying that." He wants to go back to the word is he wants to go back to Philly, but they don't want to pay him what his agent's asking for, so they went and got Keon Green as kind of like an insurance policy.
Did you guys see the team report cards that were released not too long ago?
Oh yeah, we talked about that, and I was like,
"Oh man, I missed it."
I think that was the show you missed.
Way to go, Nate.
What? The one day?
That was the show. I think you had plans and you weren't able to come on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We talked about it for all of like 5 minutes. I was just like, I don't like. Listen, there were some like no brainers, but like the Eagles were like a middle of the road team. I'm like, this just shows how meaningless it is. 3 of the best teams in the league were in the middle of the pack. Listen, team of
they
managers
gave the Bengals an F- on treatment.
Yeah,
Well,
the
listen,
Falcons, the Cardinals.
Paul Brown makes Mark Davis look like a freaking spender, which cracks me up.
The Falcons, Cardinals, and Miami had like the highest rating.
Two
And
birds.
not any of them made the playoffs. So
But also, they also live in three of the nicest cities. So
They also don't have snow.
yeah.
Also, here's the other thing. Y'all hear about how much the Bengals are asking for Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins trades?
I
think it's
heard
in
they're
first for
actually
Trey, if I'm
It's
not
a first plus. It's a first plus. They're asking for a first plus, like more. I'm like, what?
No one's going to do that because they'll
Or-
have to sign Trey as well, and that's going to
I
be
know.
that's
Like
gonna be a-
Trey's worth. Okay, so all right, we'll go around the horn. What's Trey worth? DJ, I'll ask you first.
I'm not going to get into the semantics, but I think Myles Garrett's getting $40 million per year, if I'm not
Oh, I'm
mistaken.
saying, no, trade comp. I'm not even say what's. he
Oh,
worth
okay. I thought you were talking about the contract.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no.
all right.
Listen, we leave the
Um,
numbers to the numbers nerds. I'm not going to fucking try to name.
Well, I'm the numbers nerd. That's why I thought you started with me. But
Well,
all
I
right,
know
so
you are, but I'm trying not like to avoid that. Like, you
yeah,
know,
I
'cause
got
it's
you.
not- Yeah.
If it's a late team in the first round, you might be able to get a first. We're talking like 29, 30, 31,
Like
maybe.
Philly? I could
Like
see
if-
Philly throwing a first at him, but
I'm
like
thinking
that.
maybe if like the Ravens, like we need a pass rusher, Buffalo. Well, they got Joe Labosa, so they don't need that now. If
I
someone
was gonna
really
say,
needed one there, maybe, and a pick swap in that case.
See, the thing
So,
is, sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, it's all good. There's a little lag. So I think maybe you do a pick swap or something there at the back end. Otherwise, a 2, maybe a top 3 of the third round, something like that. Because you got to sign him to a huge deal on top of it. And he's 30, so you got 3 good years, give or take.
All right, as somebody who's turning 30 in literally 4 days, I don't want to hear that.
I'm gonna be 31 in a month. I don't want to hear it either.
Deej, let's be honest though, at the Hall of Fame, you and me were the most spry people at that entire event.
That is not true. I was falling apart so bad.
Oh no! Sorry, shout out to Jacob from Jockstrap Sports. Even though he's literally dropped off the face of the earth like a Black Ops operative, he honestly was the most spry at 33. But like, I mean, you did okay for yourself besides needing the ankle brace.
Yeah, I was too scared about destroying my ankle again, so I was just walking like, not gonna break myself, not gonna break myself.
You know, me being 300 pounds and running around kind of was a nice little shock to the system.
Yeah, I still don't know how you didn't die when you when you landed on the ground. Everything literally just stopped. It sounded like lightning struck the ground. You just hit it the perfect spot when it's quiet, where it's like, we're like, oh god, and you just bounce right back up and start.
Listen,
running
y'all
on
ever
the
seen
back.
Rudolph Bumble's bounce? All right.
It was the loud. I don't understand how you hit it perfectly to make such a loud noise. Like
And I
everyone else
got
fell.
right
every other
back.
different
And I
part.
got right back up twice.
Like, exactly. It was just the perfect spot. Like
Also,
anywhere
worst
else. in the
turf
field.
I've ever played on in my life.
You see how I got injured on it now. Like it's MetLife.
There's
That's
no giblets. It's just turf.
this is why it hurts when you fall on. That's why I had burns all over the place.
Oh, I'm bringing my low tops, which are built for like crap turf.
Oh,
I'm bringing those. Next
there's no flag football this year. They don't have it this year. We
we
ruined
had
it
to.
last
We had to ruin it.
year. Mhm.
Those kids had to ruin it.
A moment of silence for flag football. All right, that was a short moment. Like it's not that serious. Now we don't need a full moment.
I was looking forward to that. I'm actually in shape this year. I was like, Kelsey, I'm taking over at quarterback. You can sit down. We don't have to put anger management Josh Allen, who got us ejected, out.
We should put Kelsey at tight end so you just run around and post somebody up.
Dude, I would love to see Kelsey because he's doing pretty well himself for his fitness journey. I want to see him just catch a ball and just go.
When I'm healthy, what do I play? When I get healthy.
Offensive
You can be the other tight end. We'll have you and Kelsey as completely opposite tight ends.
I'm a 5'5", 140 tight end. I'm gonna get killed.
Fine, H-back,
You're
whatever.
5'5"?
I'm 5'5". I tell the girls I'm 5'6". Does a trick.
It's all right. I tell him I'm 6'1" in cowboy boots, so it works.
Hey,
I'm 6 foot. Sorry, I'm 5'11" in like flip flops. I'm 6 foot in cowboy boots.
Just say
Yeah, I think we're pretty much the same height.
Still, my favorite reaction of all of that entire weekend was me meeting Mike Brown for the first time. Walk up to him. I'm like, I thought you'd be taller. He goes, I thought you'd be shorter.
That's exactly what. That was me and Jason actually when I met Jason with TSS the first time. It's almost the same thing. I'm like, oh,
But he's like
what?
5'2". What do you mean?
Well, when he always has his camera like up here, so I always thought he was like maybe closer to my height. But I was like, oh no, never mind.
Yeah, no. My favorite was I met Chase for the first time in public, and Chase is only like 5'5", 5'6", and he's like, "Damn, man, I didn't think you were this tall." I'm like, "I'm tall," and then I realized like 80% of my friends from college and high school are all like 6'2" or higher, or taller. Like my best friend growing up was 6'6", so like to me, I always felt short. So it's really funny when I'm walking around, just like like DJ, me and you are around the same height. We're walking around. I'm like, yeah, we're taller than half the people here.
So I was like, I could dunk here. What is this?
You
Like,
know,
my
you know
goodness.
who was like abnormally tall and it did not strike me? It was Adam and Jack from Caps Off were like tall dudes.
I'd say like they were a little taller than us. So like, oh, okay.
Also, Adam randomly hugging me because I said I was a Hurricanes fan was the funniest thing the whole weekend. Shout out to our boys at Caps Off, by the way. They're killing it. So coolest guys on the planet, by the way. I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to see them when we went bar hopping, but
I was mad.
Anyway,
half the time because I'm deaf. So half the time I was like I'd hear every third one, like, yeah.
See, I'm good at hearing like the loud talking because I go to bars. I'm used to talking.
Because you talk loud, so it resonates better. You got the loud voice. You got that Northeast voice.
Hurtful. That's actually true. All right. What are we talking about?
Football free agency. The Colts are stupid for signing Daniel Jones, but I make sense, and I still don't like it, and I hate both of them. And if Anthony Richardson can't beat him out,
shout out to our boy Brett former brand. He said this is the easiest, this is the fairest. Hey, like, put up or shut up moment. Like, if you can't beat out Daniel Jones, like, just go away.
And at the same time, you have to be insulted. They're like, we're going to bring in they said Daniel Jones was your competition. They spent the entire time leading up to this. We're going to bring in legit competition. That's who they bring in. They think he has a chance to, like, he needs to be insulted. He needs to come out like 2015 Cam Newton.
How much did they give him? 8 mil?
I think
14.
Okay, Jesus.
What you mean? That's cheap.
Oh my god!
It's like 1 year, 14 at least, and all the other deals they have are back.
Okay, so he's not technically a backup. He's technically in QB competition.
They made the other contracts back.
If you are not playing 100+ snaps a game, getting paid over 10 million to me is bogus. I never have understood that. So, like, I think Chase Daniel, his last contract with the Chiefs, I think he made like $11 million a year or something like that. And I was like, he's never going to see the field. Like, why? He was replaced by Chad Henne halfway through the year. Like, why is this? Also, by the way, Chase Daniel, like, I love that dude. The hate he has received for shitting on Jalen Hurts is beautiful. Because like, I would be okay if like McNabb went on and said something, or Mike Vick, Bledsoe, guys who played and started and won Pro Bowls. Chase Daniel's claim to fame is he played one snap his entire career. Or he played one game. It was one game. I think it was one game his entire career. He started one game that wasn't in the preseason, and he made like $40 million. Now he works for Fox, and he's the punching bag between James Jones, Acho, and Shady.
I'll say if you're gonna drop that kind of I don't want to say hot takes. That sounds really lame. But if you're gonna say something that's a little bit against the norm like that, you gotta have a little bit more to back it up too. Like, you gotta have better film breakdowns than he does do. I don't doubt that he knows the game, but the film breakdowns he does do, I feel like he's leaving a lot out there.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to say something like that, you gotta bring a little more evidence to the table.
Oh, do you want to hear about leaving a lot out? Guess who I literally missed by a minute today at a liquor store in Connecticut.
Oh, I can't. There are so many different ways this could go, and I don't even know where to start. Like, I can't. Shannon Sharp.
He was there doing a signing for his new liquor. I missed. So I walked. I guess he was there till 10:40. I walked in at 10:35. I kind of didn't. I was half asleep because I just left Foxborough, Mass at 9 a.m. I was exhausted. I just got into Connecticut. I'm exhausted. Walking around looking for beer for my birthday weekend. And I'm just trying to like get everything taken care of. I said, "Oh, Shannon Sharp, that's cool." And I said to the cashier, the nice girl at the cashier, so I'm like, "So Shannon Sharp's in?" She goes, "Yeah, he's in the back." I'm like, "She goes, want to go meet him?" She's like, "Is there a charge?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "Oh hell yeah!" I go, "Oh, me Uncle Shannon, why not?" So I walk back. Like, you missed him by literally 2 minutes. I'm like, "Oh, that just sucks."
God, if you would have woke up 2 minutes earlier, you could have got a picture of Shay.
Dude, no, he was in the building when I was there. I just did not know. I literally walked in and was looking for beer, and I did not realize it. And I thought maybe, because who does a signing in the morning? Well, because I found out he's going to like 8 total wines across the state. So I was like, oh, okay. But hey, Uncle Shay, if for some reason you see this, I'm sorry I missed you, man. It was a pleasure to meet you in person. I'm a big fan. The podcast of you and Chad do together is my favorite thing to listen to besides Rogan and McAfee. It's been my 3 podcast rotation usually before I go into the Belly Up podcast. And yeah. Sad I missed you, man. It'd be cool to get a picture with you.
If you are still watching this, please get one size up in your t-shirts, though. Go up one.
Oh, size no. Show off the cannons, bro. You go for it.
those things are okay. Go up one size in the joggers. Then I don't need to see your kneecaps or your
That
joggers.
I
don't
understand.
need. I don't need to see your kneecap hair through your joggers. I got that. Go up just one size. Then.
It's okay. My buddy who's in the armed forces, he I miss the kid to death, man. It's he went into he's 3 weeks into basic right now. And he gave me a hoodie. He goes, yeah. Yeah, it says medium, but it's like a double or triple XL because it's like a dress on me. And I'm a lot. This dude's maybe 5'6", 170 pounds, solid muscle. He basically looks like he would be like Darren Sproles' stunt double. Just minus the melanin.
Okay, there we go.
But basically he hands me this Rhodesian South African camo hoodie, which is really comfortable. And also South African camo is gorgeous. So, and I'm like, oh, it's just perfectly fitted. And he goes, yeah, it was baggy on me. I'm like, Trev, to be fair, you wear a men's medium. And that's why you talk about Shannon Sharp. I'm like, every shirt he wears, like he wears a lot of Grand Thumbs gear on research. Everything is skin tight. I'm like, brother, I haven't worn a shirt skin tight like that unless it was a football jersey since I was like ever.
I'll say, like, how long does it take to take that off when it's that tight? Like, it doesn't just slide. You can't just pull it off. You got to meticulously pull that thing off.
I mean, listen, to be fair, the kid's like 15% body fat. He works hard. He runs like a 12-minute 2-mile. Like the kid earned it. But,
I believe him. I was talking about Shannon Sharp with his big bulky stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, like my favorite is him wearing the skin tight tee, trying to beef with John Morant's dad with the knit sweater. I'm like, dude, like, how are you supposed to look tough in that? But like Shannon makes it look like he's tough. It's just crazy.
Like, why are you gonna beef with Usher like that?
Oh my god! When they showed up together, when they were there together, and they took the picture, I was dying. I can't wait for NBA playoffs.
We're almost there.
I know. My favorite part is that everyone's so on the Lakers. Hot take. As Nate joins because he's a little he knows where I'm going with this. I don't think the Lakers make it out of the second round.
Not out of the second. I think they get to the second, but I don't think they get out of the second.
Oh no, they don't make it out. They win their first series.
That's what I'm saying. Like they'll win in the first round, but
Asian's gonna like the who takes the last shot's gonna kill them. And
your one big man is Jackson Hayes, and there's a lot of things I can say about Jackson Hayes and him being an awesome.
I'm sorry, even Rudy Gobert could drop 25 on Jackson Hayes. That's the problem.
And we're not even getting into the personal things with Jackson Hayes. I'm just talking about on the court.
Oh yeah, no, we're just talking about I'm just gonna talk about on court stuff. Like
no, I'm trying to make a point that even Nate can't argue with now. Like I'm shooting this one right in the foot.
Yeah, Nate's like really like Nate. We just put in Nas Reed at center. He's gonna drop 30 on you guys. Like I'm just like,
I mean, Hayes isn't that bad. Okay, look. I'm not. I swear I'm not being biased. He's not that bad defensively. He's just not a defensive guy.
He'd be riding the bench because I take Luka Garza over him.
Yeah, we don't have a choice. I mean, he's basically our lob threat offensively, which is fantastic. But defensively, he has a block here and there. But he's just not. That's the thing that scares me about this team is that there's no defensive big man. We have Trey Jemison's our backup, which is And we have Alex Len, who's slow as fudge.
Please give me a rematch of Luka versus Ant. That's all I want in this world because those two hate each other.
That'd be nice. It could happen.
Like after that series, like Ant wanted to beat up Luka, but like his respect for Kyrie was well documented. I want to see a rematch. No, honestly, no. Sorry. I want a Denver Minnesota rematch because that series went to almost a fist fight almost every game. Jokic versus Ant-Man is literally like the dream scenario. I think the NBA should like try to like see if they can fudge the standings for that one. But also like I love how I still like this is why the NBA makes no sense to me. Apparently there's still a way through certain back ways that like Kevin Durant could get released and signed with the Nuggets. I don't understand how any of this stuff works. I stopped caring. I just like when the playoffs start, I start caring. Because everything before that makes no sense.
Even the players don't care about it before that point anyway, for the most part. So like,
wanted to put this out. Shout out to my fellow Eagles fan and New York Nick, Carl Anthony Towns. I saw something that apparently his fiance or girlfriend Jordan Woods has cancer or something like that. I don't know what's going on. I just saw she typed out cancer sucks. Thoughts and prayers go out to Jordan Woods or whoever.
Family member of Woods.
Yeah, member Woods. Yeah, that's awful. I know how that goes. It's not easy. So. And hopefully Cat makes a speedy recovery. Listen, I have never been more happy for a guy who gets traded for my team to see Cat thriving in New York. It actually makes me genuinely happy because I've always had a soft spot for Cat, even though he's softer than that soft spot. I want him to succeed in New York because I think he's a great player. He just didn't work with Ant. I think Ant's too much of a tough guy. Ant would have been great with like Jimmy Butler. Like that would have been a great duo because
Until
they're
they
the
got
same
into a fight.
guy. They would have been in a fight every practice. They was like, "Yo, I love you, man." After the end of it,
I will say
want
too, I
Cat.
think Cat has seen some shit, so it's really easy to root for him. Like he has seen some shit in his life too. Like he has gone through it, so he's really easy to root for.
It's hard.
Even if I hate the fact that he shoots more threes than Steph Curry sometimes.
Also, then when the Knicks are good at basketball's more fun.
It has a nice electric feel to it. Like it just feels
the
different.
Garden. Yeah, like I'm sorry, like nobody wants a Celtics repeat. I'm sorry, nobody wants that. I don't think Celtics fans want it because they're so self-loathing.
That is true. They do that themselves. It's okay though, because it's going to be the Cavs coming out of the East this year,
Which is wild. Like, can we talk about Evan Mobley is like just like an all-star,
Defensive Player of the Year,
right? Like I was trying to talk to somebody who's a big NBA fan, one of my buddies, and he doesn't watch the show much, only because we don't talk a lot of basketball until the playoffs. Then he starts watching. He says to me, he goes, "I have never been more confused by the Cavs roster." I'm like, I am too. But you know what? Listen, they said it was going to be either Garland or Mitchell gets traded. They stay. Evan Mobley steps up, and now they're a number 1 seed or number 2 seed. Like, what's happening? Like, I love it.
I pointed this out on our show yesterday, but it's what's absolutely bat-ish crazy to think about is since they made that trade for DeAndre Hunter, they have not lost. So the Chiefs have lost more recently than the Cavs have.
Wild.
Like they are.
I completely forgot about the DeAndre Hunter trade. Can we talk about how the Pistons are back?
When you hit on the number 1 overall pick and you have a semi-decent coach, like things just work out. Like Kay Cunningham is that dude, and the Pistons.
I mean Minnesota did the same thing like just 2 years earlier.
Exactly, that's my point. When you hit on the number 1 overall pick and you have a coach who doesn't stink, good things happen.
Yeah,
and Kay Cunningham, he's next up in line. He's gonna be that dude. He's awesome.
Matt, who's your basketball team again?
Yes,
newly converted Knicks.
What was it before?
He was a Bulls fan before.
Come on, Lonzo. Come on, I'd be a Bulls fan too.
You mean Lonzo? I'm always in the IR ball. Like, come on.
The last time I actually watched some Chicago Bulls basketball was when they still had Derrick Rose. Ever since Derrick Rose left, Jimmy Butler left, they just stopped putting him on my TV. I just couldn't watch them. I wasn't paying $200 something from NBA Pass to watch them. So, it's been a long time since I've actually watched some Chicago Bulls basketball. So I could watch Knicks basketball, but it's also fair to say, it's very important to point out, I am not a basketball fan. Like I'm not a big NBA guy. So when I say converted, I'm not. I was never truly a Bulls fan. I was just somebody that just claimed them as the team and watched them every now and then, very casual, and I still am. So it's very hard to say I am a casual basketball fan, and fan is used very lightly. So for anybody that's going to come for me for converting, know that I'm literally a casual fan of that sport.
I mean, I consider myself a pretty intense fan of Minnesota. I just can't watch the game, so I just check the scores.
Yeah,
and I'm not paying for Insight. I'm not paying for League Pass. I just also like watching a regular season basketball game. To me, it's not like Jokic versus Ant. I was actually kind of mad I missed that game, but like if it's not like a premier matchup, I could care less. Like I don't even watch college basketball until I'd say February 20th, and then I start giving a crap about it. But like before that, I'm just like, it doesn't mean anything. I guess what makes baseball different is I could watch like Nate, me, you've had this conversation before. I'll put baseball on one screen, and I'll just have like the Diamondbacks game in the background. I'll do 40 different things. Hell, I watched the movie and kept the Diamondbacks game on the side, and honestly, watched the movie, loved it, enjoyed it, and still paid attention to the game.
Swing and a drive.
Steve Berfield, man, that's my dude, man.
Oh, you hear about Carson Beck?
Yeah, listen, I could care less. Listen, he might pre-Cavender twin Carson Beck was a menace.
True.
I'm with it. So, hey, listen, I know Kelsey's a hater, and so is Kevin, so I don't care.
Hey, a breakup with the girl can do wonders. I just want him to
be happy. Hey, Carson, Miami is full of some of the most beautiful women on the planet. You'll find a new one in 20 minutes
20 minutes?
without the baggage of the Cavender twins. So you're fine. Just go. You just walk outside like, hey, I make like $3 million from NIL money. And
Oh yeah.
Are
By the way, I'm the number 1 starting quarterback for the University of Miami Hurricanes.
the most loved team in the city of Miami is the Hurricanes.
He's a guy could very well be a first-round draft pick next year.
I'm probably going to be a number top 25 pick next year.
And we still don't know the difference between the two of them, the Cavender ones.
Well, one of them dates a cowboy, so she's already self-hating. So,
hey, at least she's doing all right with him.
I mean, Jake Ferguson's the most overrated tight end in football. That's a whole other.
I think Schoonmaker was better than him at one point.
Thank you.
Oh, you
Listen, you want to just call it how it is. They never should have let Dalton Schultz walk.
Nope.
Ooh, yeah, true.
Nope.
That is true.
That was the best tight end they've had since Witten.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Ingram signed with the Broncos. I miss him.
Dude, so low-key, the Broncos have like a really good offseason. Like, they loaded up on talent. And like nobody's talking about it.
All they got to do is draft a running back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Well, I mean, they finally got rid of Javonte Williams.
To the Cowboys.
This is why we're courting Kelsey.
Woo! Look at that backfield. Williams, who's the other guy?
No, they lost Dowdle.
Yeah, he went to the Panthers.
Vaughn is he went to the Panthers.
Deuce Vaughn and
Deuce
Deuce Vaughn. Who's your height, Nate?
I know, huh? Hey, put
That's
me in.
not true. Deuce Vaughn's
When
short.
I'm healthy.
No,
He's
Nate and Deuce Vaughn are both 5'5".
No, Dave said he was 5'6", so that's what he tells the lady. So we're gonna roll with it.
All right,
Uh-huh.
bet. Oh no, I told
Yes,
the
sir.
ladies Nate's 5'7".
Okay, let's not
Aw,
get hasty.
sweet.
Like, let's reel it in a little bit.
Well, listen, I bought him those TikTok elevator shoes, so I mean,
Put pads in your feet, you know?
oh, dude, I was at a bar. I saw some dude wearing those. I almost lost my shit. I had to stop. I just look away. I was at like some bar in Providence, and I saw some dude wearing those like elevator TikTok shoes that like they look like. Do you remember the Spring Blade Adidas? Like back in the day, they had the weird like they're almost like kind of like bent weird like cushioning. Yeah. They look like that, but they're triangles. They're like diamonds. I'm like, dude, that's at least like 3 inches of height this kid just gained. And I look at him, I'm like, he's only up to here on me. I'm like, oh, brother, I'm sorry, man.
You need it, guy. You need it. No judgment. You need it.
Oh, my God. Listen, the other day, my buddy asked me, he goes, would you date a girl who's taller than him? I'm like, yeah, I could care less.
But there's a limit, though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like.
I mean, my wife's
7
2
foot,
inches shorter than me. I'm about 5'11". My wife's 2 inches shorter than me.
As long as she's not resting her armpit on top of my head and trying to embarrass
No,
me.
but when she puts
All
6-inch heels on, you know, she becomes.
It's
6.
over, huh, Matt? After that, it's
Yeah.
over. I wish I was like 6 foot.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm a half inch below 6 foot. It really annoys the hell out of me.
Damn.
like once when I went to the doctor for a physical, they gave me 6 foot, and I will never let that down. I will live and die by that, even though never has again.
As you should, boss. As
the problem
you
is
should.
I have a giant forehead, so I always think I'm shorter than I actually am. So that's my excuse. Like I got a large noggin, but the problem is my eye level is really low for where my head, the size of my head. So it's really funny where I'm like sitting next to a guy, and this guy's looking like his eyes are higher than mine, and then his girlfriend goes, "He's still taller than you," and I'm just like, "Yeah, but." Also, like my favorite's like the dudes who have like the poof hair, like they literally just try like poof their hair up to the max. My hairstyles are buzz cut, slick back, or a baseball hat. So basically, that's my entire hairstyle repertoire in a nutshell. There's not much height given in that, so I mean, it always cracked me up.
No, I get it. There's very limited. There's not a whole lot of change going on over here either. Like where it's at, it's at.
Oh, by the way, I tried Hims out just because I was like, you guys know I had that scalp thing that literally just like almost made me bald, and it's helping now. My hair is like coming back, but dude, that shit is weird. I gotta wear like a headband. Like literally, I put that stuff on at 4:00. I had to have a headband on so the minoxidil wouldn't get my eyes. It was a really weird experience. But I was talking like you talk to these people, you're like, hey, listen, like I don't have male pattern baldness. I just had like psoriasis. They're like, oh yeah, this will get your hair to come back. I'm like, no shit. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, guys, stress is not fun, guys.
So Hims is for your hair?
Hims is for your hair. You will know Hims has like a multiple amount of. This is not an ad, by the way. They're not paying us.
No, I only know Hims for the other thing.
Yeah, no, Hims has multiple products, but they have a hair one they sell like Target and shit. I was in there getting cat litter for Ghost, and I was just kind of like, why not?
You said Hims, and I was like, "Oh, you okay, buddy?"
It works.
No, Maddie, no problems there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, it does work. Yes. Now we know, Nate. It does work.
It does work.
Huh, all right then.
Back in your box, Nate.
I know.
All right.
Shout out to Nate for
There's such a
understanding
joke
what
to make
Hims
shit about the
was.
box and it works. I just
Yeah,
don't want
Nate didn't understand what the word box meant in terms of dirty language, but he understood what Hims was. Horrifying. Like,
I know.
Oh, you want to know a quick funny story? We might have talked about this, but how we all used to do our chewing tobaccos and everything.
Yeah.
I thought I had this whole TikTok ad going around for months on my thing, Blue Chew. I thought that was a nicotine, like a chewing tobacco thing. I'm like, Blue Chew. That's gotta mean tobacco. So one day I was looking up, I was like, oh, I wonder if they have like tobacco-free products. And I looked it up, I was like, oh, this isn't what I need.
well, hey, listen, when it was all Instagram models who all have about 1 billion followers each endorsing it, I don't think it was true.
I did also wonder, like, oh, how come all these women are so excited when they hear their man has a Blue Chew? Do they also do this pouches? And then I'm like, oh, it's not pouches. Oh, nope, it's not. So that was my fun experience with not understanding what the product was. Yeah. I was like, oh, wow, everybody's doing it, huh? And then
No, it's okay. I had a buddy in college who literally would take Viagra before every single fucking time we went out because Chad Ochocinco used to do it. That's why he did it. So my buddy was also like 6'7". So he'd just be walking around, like smiling at everybody. I'm like, dude, you're scaring the hell out of everyone right now. He'd be like, he's trying to like lean on a table talking. I'm like, buddy, she's not even up to your belly button. I wouldn't even talk. Just keep walking. You're scaring the hell out of everyone right now. He tried to explain this to me once, and I'm just looking at him. I'm like, he goes, yeah, Chad Ochocinco does. I'm like, he plays football. It's for blood flow. You're out here drinking. What? I just sat there. I was like, my brain hurts.
Even Chad's reasoning wasn't exactly sound either. They can't catch me on 2 legs. They sure can't catch me on 3. Like, well, even his reasoning's not sound, so you shouldn't be following that.
It doesn't sound right.
But listen, he was one of the best route runners of our generations. I mean, like,
I don't think it was because of the Viagra, though.
I mean, technically the science is half sound because the blood flow to your lower body, but I'm like, Chad, it's not to the right like part of your organs, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You run into Ray Lewis at the wrong angle when you try and jump for a pass. Then you have a head-on-head collision. You both get fined.
It's gonna be a hard collision if you ask me.
Hey yo,
Blue Chew.
Right.
Yeah, you're asking for concussions and head trauma with that. You be safe. Like, don't be doing that.
Wait, what was it from the league concussion? Was that Taco? All right. So Deej, we were talking about this before. I said that obviously draft day trades. I think we're gonna have a lot this year. I think Kirk Cousins is the first. He's the big fish. I think the Falcons will find a way to move him to help out that defense, maybe the O-line. I think the Eagles will try to get a move for an edge rusher, whether it's a certain one in Texas, someone in PA, maybe a guy on the West Coast. I'm not sure. I feel like Howie's going to try. Howie's accumulating way too many draft picks not to use it for something. This kind of gives me like 2022 and 2017 vibes where he's just chucking out draft picks like Oprah. Now, the other ones I think either Hendrickson or Higgins gets moved draft day. I think the Bengals fall in love with the prospect. He's going way too early for them, and they got to give up Hendrickson or Higgins or both for them. I don't know.
I think Higgins is gone. I think that franchise tag all but assures it.
Yeah. Hendrickson, I think they can sign. Also, it's like a 31-year-old edge rusher, man. Like, that's on you for not re-signing him and like structuring his deal weird. I would have given him the extra year because I knew like 30 is a weird year for an edge rusher. You still have like about 2 more years left of being like super productive. But after that, unless your name's Brandon Graham or DeMarcus Ware, you're not really going to rack up a ton of sacks after the age of 32 generally. Even John Abraham like had to drop off to 33. So it's like
they missed everything by like a year. If they had just done everything on time, they'd be sitting just fine.
Dallas
they
misses
delayed
it
a
by
year.
every year.
Now you're a year late for everybody, and you still got to pay Jamar Chase. Who, after what Myles Garrett just got, you're gonna have to match that for Jamar Chase most likely. I know different positions,
Smith.
but as far
Even
as
Milton
non-
Williams jacked the price up too, because like you could say, oh, Myles Garrett's an outlier. It's like, oh, then Milton Williams gets like X amount of dollars. Like, oh crap.
You know, Jamar's like, I just won the Triple Offensive Player of the Year, arguably. Or if voting was accurate and Saquon got MVP like he should have, then Jamar could have got Offensive
Well, listen,
Player.
my vote would have been Saquon MVP, Jamar OPY, but you know, whatever, it's quarterback award now.
Well, that was my choice. When you have
Josh
two
Allen
guys,
won enough. He's about to marry Haley Steinfeld. He's got enough wins in his life.
He just needs a Super Bowl.
Yeah, basically, listen, if he wins a Super Bowl in the next 3 years, his life is complete. He's good. He's basically he could live rent free in a mansion on the top of, he's mayor of the city of Buffalo for the rest of his life. Even if he only wins one Super Bowl ever for Buffalo, he does.
I give him credit. He's got not like most of us fooled, but man, I know there's a difference between choking like Lamar Jackson just will commit those turnovers and then figure it out in the end, and it's not enough. But I mean, even if you play a great game, you don't win. You still didn't get the job done. And I haven't seen this man get the job done, and I don't know how many times I've seen him in the playoffs.
One thing I'm very proud of. We're talking about Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen, and then this kid at my gym, because one of his buddies listens to my show. And then we were chatting back and forth. He goes, "Oh yeah, you do the podcast?" Or my buddy listens to you. I'm like, "Yeah." We were chatting back and forth, and he goes, "I'm a big Shedeur Sanders guy." And his buddy who listens to the show goes, "Yo, I've been arguing about who Cam Ward's better." And I was like, "Let me drop some knowledge on you, there, kiddo." And I said, and it took one sentence. And he goes, "Listen, Shedeur's got a lot of things to love. He keeps his eyes up when he's moving around the pocket. He's scrambling. He's not trying to just run. He keeps his eyes up. He's trying to throw the ball. The hero ball thing annoys me, but it's not that. It's that 80% of his big plays or his crazy throws are Travis or the rest of that receiving core bailing him out. Because his offensive line is terrible, but it's not even like he's trying to put the ball in a good spot. He's just heaving it, and the players are making a play. Which I can't knock him for it, but like when you see Cam Ward scrambling or extending the pocket, the ball's in a window this big where only his receiver can catch it. That's the difference to me.
what really hurts him too is it's funny because obviously prime time, all that, all the flash in the world coming from that family, but him as a quarterback is the least flashy thing you will ever see. Like, he doesn't have a rocket arm. He's not really fast.
Desmond Ritter. He's Desmond Ritter.
He's very accurate, eyes up the field, sees the defense, does everything right. He just doesn't have the extra pizzazz. So I think like when he throws the ball down the field, it dies a little bit. So if he's going to throw it down the field, he has to throw it early and on time. He's
He's Alex Smith. That's my pro con for him. He's Alex Smith.
I'd say he's a little bit better of a passer and a little worse of a runner, but like similar.
Well,
if you give him Madden ratings, I get what you're saying.
You see my point, yeah.
I think you can win with him for sure.
Cam Ward to me is Russell Wilson with more of an arm.
Come to New York, please. I'm begging. I'm begging.
Do not ruin my boy's career. Because if he goes to the Giants,
no, Sanders. Sorry, Sanders.
Oh yeah, Sanders, that's fine. Because listen, if you guys resurrect him, I'll give you all the credit in the world. Just don't ruin my boy's career.
You're good.
Tennessee Titans at Cleveland Browns. Please don't mess this up.
Cleveland's gonna ruin him. Tennessee will.
No, because Cleveland actually can run the football. So, yeah.
Nick Chubb's a free agent.
We'll take him. Hell, we'll have him,
My
AJ
goodness.
Dillon, and Saquon. We'll just have the infirmary backfield. Just keep throwing bodies at the line of scrimmage. Listen, Nick Chubb or our line of healthy would run for like 2,000 yards easy too.
The Titans signed quarterback Brandon Allen, so Will Levis either is gone or something else is going to happen.
I think they're going to draft Cam Ward and they're going to have a comp. And
all three of them? You might as well just trade Levis.
Oh, no. Brandon Allen is a roster filler. He's Ian Book with a better price tag.
He's going to the practice squad.
Yeah, he's a practice squad guy. Brandon Allen hasn't been good ever. Brandon Allen's not good.
Because, yeah.
Wait, wasn't he the number one quarterback recruit in like 2013 or something like that? Or that's another guy I'm thinking was a career backup. Kid went to A&M. That's what I'm thinking of.
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen, probably.
Yeah, Brandon Allen is
6th rounder.
Yeah, 6th rounder. He's Ian Book. He's Tanner McKee. Actually, not Tanner McKee. Honestly, probably could start on about 3 or 4 rosters.
Oh my God, he's QB2 now.
Bro, you kidding me? I'm hyped, man. Eagles backup squad is gonna be roping people because, like, listen, I don't mind. I love Kenny Pickett as a backup, but like, Tanner McKee can sling it. So I'm like,
Does he want to
He
come
comes in for a game or two this year when Jalen's sitting.
Oh, come on, DJ.
I'll trade Daniel Jones for him right now.
Oh, come on, DJ.
Okay, so give us DJ and give us maybe a third. We'll give you Tanner McKee.
Deal.
A third?
Howie, I just got us a third round pick. Let's make it work.
We're good. We're good. I'm good then.
'Cause
Either
Tanner McKee
completely
will
burn
be-
it all to the
Tanner
ground, or
McKee will
Tanner
be an
McKee stays.
AR in about a half. I'm telling you, Nate, right now, the only reason Tanner McKee's not a starting quarterback is because he's the Eagles quarterback. He'd start on the Giants right now.
No, he wouldn't.
He start. Yeah, he would.
No. Let's not go
Not
there.
over Aaron
Sir.
Rodgers.
That's one thing we're not gonna.
Okay,
do,
so
sir.
if Tanner, I honestly would take if I'm a gambler, obviously, I would take Tanner McKee over Russell Wilson. I would put the bet on Tanner McKee. I think this kid's very talented. I think he is a Russ on the back end of the season look awful. Like Nate, if you guys are going to get Russ, it's because you're trying to tank to get more draft picks.
Russell started early, but
Russell had a good start to the season, but he fizzled out. He looked like Brett Favre in his last year of the Vikings.
Like, they'll start him
Pretty
just
long.
because name value, but like he would not keep the job the whole year.
Tanner would beat him out because Tanner can sling. Dude, he threw for 4 touchdowns on 5 attempts. He's a gunslinger.
When was this?
Against you guys and against the Cowboys.
Oh, really? Oh shit.
Yeah, he literally his first throw was a touchdown pass.
Oh yeah.
Hey, there he is. Shots of former
Oh.
co-host of the Corner Booth, Pat Donahue. No. So listen, Pat, I know the white receiver going to New England. It's a thing. I would still keep LA Chargers in the mix and then throw in Philadelphia because Jahan Dotson's not a starting slot receiver. Jahan Dotson's an outside guy. I think the Eagles try to move Dotson and get him a starting job somewhere because honestly, his biggest problem is he's out of position. That's his biggest problem. But I do love Kupp to New England. They signed Kupp. They draft Tate McMillan. That team's going to the wild card.
Grab a running back in the second round because they still need one of those.
Love you, Pat.
Hey, when
won't
Cooper
do a
Kupp
golf
doesn't
ball.
go to New England can call me up. I got a prime receiver for them. I can't miss prospect for them that I just want a 7th round pick for. Alan Lazard, you are a New England Patriot.
Ooh, I take him. No, we don't need him.
Yeah,
You can't just say, "I'll take them for
one
everybody."
not weak spot. You actually have decent receivers, like Nate. Like that's the one thing you actually don't like have a problem with. Is Malika's the number 1? Darius Slayton's not a bad number 2. Everyone
I'm
tried
so
to
glad
tell me
he's back.
Everyone tried to tell me Wan'Dale Robinson's a good number 3 receiver. I was like, no, he's not.
He's a small, but he's decent.
Mate, he wouldn't even make the Eagles practice squad.
Okay, you know what, sir? He'll beat out Johnny Wilson.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Johnny Wilson has more touchdowns than he has last year and a half.
No.
Johnny Wilson had 2 touchdowns this year. How many Wan'Dale Robinson have?
Well, Wanda had 3. Come on, Wanda, don't let me down, right? Hold on, I'm checking. He had 3.
Okay. But
So beat
Wan'Dale,
that, sir.
Wan'Dale will be replaced by Aeneas Smith, who can return kicks. And then you also have, but I wouldn't put Wan'Dale's not straight head speed like Aeneas Smith is. Also, I keep Johnny because Johnny's 6'7".
Are we really having a mid-off in the conversation right now?
I know. I just was like, I'm like, listen, Wan'Dale Robinson also screwed me in fantasy, so I will just hate on him for any reason. You guys have a good 1 and 2 receiver. Just be happy with that.
They're saying Kenny Pickett was told that the Browns have told him that he has a chance to compete for the starting job.
Yeah, which means they're not drafting a quarterback.
Don't blame him. I don't want to see Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders go there. Keep them both away from Cleveland. That place, no, stay away.
All right. Well, we lost our producer, but we honestly it's 8:40. We've been bullshitting for an hour. There he is. Okay. Well, we'll let Nate come back. Nate, you want to come back in and say goodbye because we're about to get off. He looks really stressed. Nate, are you okay?
Oh, probably having computer issues.
Fair enough. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Corner Pregame free agency wrap up. We've kind of been just bullshitting today. It's kind of a nice, relaxing day. Reminder: Monday, we are doing tight ends and left tackle and tackles for our draft preview. It's also my 30th birthday on Monday, which is going to be horrifying.
He's getting old, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting old.
I know. You know what's weird is that this last week, because I've been working on a demo job, helping out some people, and then on top of that, I've been working out like a lot. I'm really sore, and I thought maybe I'm feeling my age, and I woke up this morning, I was like, nah, I'm just getting after it. Thanks, Pat. I love you, pal. It's okay. I might shove him over the fire pit on Saturday. Oh, Matt, if you're coming on Saturday, you get to meet him. You're muted.
I have
Bianca's got one of insert family name here whose birthday is that weekend.
March, April, and May. Everybody's born, and so we have 2 nieces' birthdays coming up this weekend.
All right. No, it's next weekend, but it's okay.
Oh, I thought you said this weekend. I'll let you know then.
Keep me in the loop. All right. DJ and Nate, if you guys weren't in other states, I say come through.
That's a long commute.
I'll be there in spirit.
Nate, you can FaceTime me. It's okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Here's ahead of time.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our sponsors, Righteous Felon, promo code Belly for 15% off your purchase at checkout. Candidates promo code Belly at 20 for 20% off your purchase at checkout. And of course, SeatGeek, the best ticketing app here and the moon. No, I was kidding. That's McAfee's line. Anyway, Belly Sports for $20 off your first initial purchase at checkout. First only though. Don't get that twisted. Subbi will be back Monday. Subbi will be back next Thursday when we kick off the NCAA tournament. I believe games start at noon, which is gonna be wild. Favorite weekend of the year is the third weekend of March because you get college basketball games starting at noon Eastern time, which is great. Yes, I was that kid who had the app download and be watching games in English class. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. We will see you Monday for another edition of our draft special. We're going to be talking bracketology, all that stuff. Oh, by the way, we're going to reveal our brackets live on Monday, so get ready for that. Me, Nate, and Matt.
This Monday?
Yeah, Nate, Selection Sunday is this Sunday.
Dang, we got a lot of work to do by then. Holy cow, we got tight end stuff to do. Lineman.
Tight end tape is my favorite to watch because it's like watching an old lineman who's fast.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like you don't have to overthink like wide receiver. Like, how is his route comparison? Like, can he catch? Can he run faster than a 4.7? All right, he's a tight end. Great.
True.
All right, gents, have a great weekend. DJ, shout out to you guys. You can catch him and Kelsey. High Low Sports dropped an episode yesterday. I did not check the description yet. I was out, but DJ, if you want to plug your episode, you can.
Soccer, NFL free agency, NBA teams. We ranked them. Pretty fun. Dallas Cowboys was this week's courting Kelsey because Kelsey got to go there live and in person. So we'll see if they can make a pitch to him in person.
He's in Dallas this week. It's got to
Yeah, but definitely fun. Go check it out. Ignore the fact that I can't spell very well when it comes to soccer stuff.
Oh, it's okay. I can't spell either. And that's Kevin just says I'm illiterate. So I mean,
TikTok's roasting me for it because instead of trying to say "cock," I just spelled it out and like this dude sucks.
This is why I stay away from soccer fans. They're really mean. Okay.
They have no mercy if you slightly look silly. I had to leave it. Otherwise, I tried to start to say it, but I would have sounded like Jimmy from South Park. So I immediately was like, you know what? We're spelling this out. I am not getting roasted for this.
I'm not going to do that. I almost did an invitation. I'm not trying to get canceled tonight.
Don't do it. Don't do the invitation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Korner with Pregame. Shout out to our boy Plank. Plank, say what up. Oh, by the way, he called the Super Bowl perfectly.
He sure
he
did.
said it was going to be a blowout. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. I know most cities are doing St. Patrick's Day parade, so behave yourselves, drink your green Guinnesses, have some shots of Jameson on me. And, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you're single, redheads are the best. It's not a question. Peace.